I and the babies also had a great time. Eldest, second, third. Su Qingyan watched the sweet scene between the couple and shook her head. Should she really find a boyfriend? Although she had been in love, those relationships ended in nothing. Su Qingyan snorted in her heart. Wake up, Su Qingyan. You're just envious because Yukino's husband is so outstanding. You won't find many men like him in the whole world. 2 hours later, they had basically played all the projects in the park. The two satisfied women were finally ready to retreat. Leaving Disneyland and returning to the parking lot outside, I, who was pushing the carriage, suddenly heard a roar not far away. A car speeding at an unimaginable pace crashed into the isolation fence in the middle of the road. The fence thrown up by the car happened to fall towards the group of us. Su Qingyan was scared silly. She stood in place, not knowing what to do. When had she ever seen such a cinematic scene? After a brief stun, Yukino Tang suddenly burst into great courage. Yukino Tang turned around and protected the 3 babies, while shouting, "Husband, run!" However, I blinked and looked up at the falling fence. I gritted my teeth, stepped in front of Yukino Tang and the babies, bent my legs slightly, and then used force. My body rose into the air. After jumping into the air, I twisted my body with the strength of my waist and abdomen and whipped out a leg. The fence and my leg collided violently. The huge force transmitted instantly from my leg made me grunt, and my body flew back and fell to the ground. But the fence had its downward direction slightly changed because of my kick. It wasn't until this moment that the crowd around reacted. The scene that was like a superhero movie left everyone in the audience shocked. So powerful! This is Kung Fu! Yukino Tang, who had her eyes closed, opened them with doubt at this time. Husband, you... She looked up and down, looking bewildered. So handsome, Yukino! Your husband was really handsome just now. Su Qingyan grabbed Yukino Tang hard and kept saying, he actually kicked that fence away with one leg. Hearing Su Qingyan say this, Yukino Tang finally understood what happened. Looking at me opposite, Yukino Tang ran over in a panic. Husband, are you okay? Yukino Tang threw herself into my arms and looked at me nervously. Husband, what happened to you? Are you hurt? Don't scare me. I'm fine. I smiled and rubbed Yukino Tang's head. My leg just hurts a bit. It might be a small fracture. We'll go to the hospital later. My words almost made Yukino Tang cry. He's already fractured and still saying he's fine. Husband was fractured to protect her and the kids. I was just about to comfort Yukino Tang when a huge aura of murder erupted from my eyes. Someone actually wanted to take advantage of the chaos to steal our child. Scoundrel, stop! I roared suddenly, startling all the passers-by around. They didn't know what had happened for a moment. The man who had just picked up the eldest baby trembled. But he quickly came to his senses and jumped onto the electric scooter to the side. Seeing this scene, the anger in my heart surged like a flood. I didn't care that my right leg seemed likely to be fractured. I used my left leg to kick the ground, and the huge force exploded instantly. My body shot out like a cannonball. I was already running to the back of the scooter like lightning, then grabbed the tail of the scooter and used force with my right arm. I actually dragged the scooter that hadn't accelerated yet, along with the person and the scooter, back a distance. The man riding the scooter fell to the ground directly, and the eldest baby who was thrown out was caught by me instantly. I looked at the eldest baby, the little guy thought we were playing with him. The man was instantly subdued by me. There was intense fear and pleading in his eyes. I kicked a hardboard today. He actually knows Kung Fu. The people around quickly surrounded us. The series of events that happened just now were too shocking. This father used Kung Fu like a superhero to kick away the fence, and then subdued the kidnapper. Various commotions occurred continuously. The security guards at Disneyland arrived late at this time. After understanding the cause and effect of the matter, the person in charge of the park who saw me was scared out of his wits. This was one of the 12 directors of Walt Disney. To think that this kind of thing happened at their park entrance by such a coincidence. The person in charge felt he was going to say goodbye to this high-paying job. He took a deep breath, pushed aside the crowd surrounding me, and came in front of me. Mr. Sato, I am very sorry for the shock you received. We have contacted the police and the hospital. Do you need to go there to rest first? No need. I stared coldly at the kidnapper on the ground. This person is handed to you to deal with. We have something to do, so we will leave first. Everything happened too fast. Su Qingyan on the side finally reacted. Yukino, your husband is too amazing, right? Does he have a sense of security? Yukino Tang also nodded deeply. Truly the man she chose. So outstanding and had a strong sense of security. It's over, Yukino. How can I find a boyfriend in the future? Your husband is so outstanding. I want to use him as a standard to pick a partner. I guess I'll be alone for the rest of my life. By the way, does your husband have any brothers from different parents? If so, introduce one to me. One shouldn't dump out the fertile water for outsiders. I'll be satisfied if he's even 1/10 as outstanding as your husband. Yukino Tang giggled. Don't say that. There really is. Heh, just joking. My husband is one of a kind. Because I kicked the fence and was injured myself, the campus beauty Yukino Tang accompanied me to the hospital for an examination. Husband, does it hurt? Yukino Tang looked at me with concern. It doesn't hurt, don't worry. I rubbed Yukino Tang's head and smiled. Your husband is very powerful. Yukino, you didn't see it. Your husband just now was exactly like shooting a martial arts movie, jumping into the air and using a whip kick. He kicked away such a big fence. Midway through speaking, Kyokan-Su spread her arms wide to gesture how big it was. Enough, I get it. You've already said that several times. Yumi Tang sighed as she said this. I'm sorry, husband. I wasn't watching the babies closely enough just now. It's not your fault, I said softly. The situation was too chaotic. It would have been the same for anyone. Aren't the babies safe? Yumi gently rested her head on my chest, greedily breathing in my scent, which made Kyokan-Su roll her eyes from the side. Just then, a doctor in a white coat walked over with a report. Mr. Sato, your results are out. How is it? Yumi quickly stood up and asked. Doctor, is my husband's leg okay? It's not too bad, just a slight hairline fracture. The doctor looked up at me with astonishment. Mr. Sato, your body is truly incredible. I can't imagine it. Based on what you said, you kicked the fence away and it's still only a slight fracture? This already exceeds medical common sense. But the world is full of wonders. Mr. Sato must have unleashed his latent potential as a father and husband during that critical moment, resulting in such extraordinary performance. Yumi nodded and then asked, Does he need to be hospitalized, doctor? Will my husband have any lasting damage or something? The doctor smiled and shook his head. Mrs. Sato, that's not necessary. Mr. Sato's body is excellent, and there won't be any lasting damage. Just pay attention to resting, and he'll be fine before long. I knew my body's condition. Even without any treatment, with my current physical fitness, I could fully recover in a few days. However, to keep Yumi from worrying, I still had the doctor put a plaster cast on my leg, and I got into the car under Yumi's care. Because I was injured, Yumi had to be the one to drive. Soon, the three of us returned to the Jinyu residence with the babies. That evening, Yumi took the initiative to offer, Husband, I'll cook tonight. Let me let you taste my cooking. Are you sure? Don't blow up the kitchen. Underestimating me, huh? Yumi put her hands on her hips, pouting. Don't forget, before I met you, I lived on my own. However, Kyokan-Su, who was by the side, suddenly thought of something and her expression became strange. Yumi, are you really going to cook? Don't think I'm still the same as I was when I was studying abroad. I can cook now. You guys actually dare to look down on me? It seems it's time for me to show you. Hearing their conversation, I realized something was wrong. Big sister Kyokan, can't Yumi cook? I wouldn't say she can't, Kyokan-Su said, choosing her words carefully. At least in terms of nutrition, it's guaranteed. Maybe, probably, possibly. Ha ha ha, forget it, I'll cook. It'll be my payment for staying at your place these past 2 days. Since you have an open kitchen, it's fine if I make some Western food, right? My wife and I expressed that we had no objections. It's rare to have someone cook, so satisfying our appetites is also good. Husband! Come quickly, you're on the trending list! Sitting on the sofa, Yumi looked at me with sparkling eyes. I thought for a moment and opened the video site, typing in a few keywords. Sure enough, there were already many related videos uploaded by various bloggers. I clicked on one at random. The screen was covered with dense comments, all of them full of amazement. Is this the legendary 12-way tan leg? Nonsense, it's clearly my Foshan shadowless kick. It's over. The fact that all Chinese people know Kung Fu can no longer be hidden. I opened the shared account that Yumi and I used, and sure enough, I found that the number of followers had skyrocketed, reaching nearly 200,000. At this time, Yumi's phone suddenly rang. It was Teacher Jiang. Yumi answered it casually. The voice of Jiang Tama immediately came from the other side. Teacher Tang? Is that your husband on the trending list? This is too amazing. Looking at Sato's gentle appearance, I didn't expect him to be this kind of person. The speed of this spread is too fast. My God, with such a big deal, how could I not know? Jing Tama excitedly talked with Yumi on the phone for a long time before hanging up. As soon as she hung up the phone, Yuan Tomo called in, also to confirm the video on the internet. At the same time, I found that my class WeChat group was exploding, all discussing things about me, and some people were crazy tagging me. As for Yumi, she was still tirelessly scrolling through videos, looking at the messages left by netizens. This father is so handsome. Why are such handsome guys already married with children? Luxury apartment, luxury car, so rich and handsome. Why did he marry young? Woo woo woo. I'm a cute girl who wants to know all the information about this handsome guy. I'm gonna poach him. Actually, I don't mind being the stepmother of the 3 babies. I'm different. I'm here to learn from him. Yes, learn from him. And added a Doge emoji. Yumi was full of confusion. What the hell are these guys? They all want to poach my husband? Yumi looked at me with a grieving face. Husband, you're famous. Many people want to poach you. If you get snatched away, the children will have no father. I laughed. They can't shake me. This isn't just a wall corner. This is a foundation driven by a 10,000-ton piling machine. Who could shake that? Yeah, ha ha ha. Kyokan-Soo held her stomach and laughed, rolling off the sofa to the ground. She hadn't realized before that her husband was so funny. You two are so funny, really. Do you have to be like this? I'm an outsider here, and you're already flirting. Or are you purposely showing off to me? Then why don't you hurry up and find someone? Don't blame me. I remember when we were studying abroad, there were quite a lot of men chasing you. Kyokan-Soo felt she had taken 1 billion points of damage. She didn't want to talk to these two at all. It was just too bullying. Alright, wife, don't worry. This kind of heat on the internet will die down in a few days. You don't need to pay attention to it. Kyokan-Soo looked at Yumi and then at me, suddenly feeling like a third wheel. She simply stood up and went into her guest room, closing the door behind her, out of sight, out of mind. That night, I was originally not planning to take a bath because of the cast on my leg. Suddenly, I saw Yumi, blushing, say, "Husband, do you want me to help you wipe your back? Otherwise, it won't be comfortable to sleep covered in sweat. Since you have a cast, you can't touch water, so I thought I'd help you wipe your back." Husband, don't think too much. I don't want to see your 8-pack abs. It's rare for my wife to be thoughtful, so I was happy to enjoy it. I'm fine, I can do it myself. Husband, just let me do these things for you. This girl started acting spoiled. Otherwise, she felt she was incompetent, not being able to help take care of her husband when he was injured. I couldn't bear to look at Yumi's disappointed little eyes, so I could only agree to her help. Suddenly, it felt quite nice to be taken care of, especially since the person was the girl I loved. Finally, Yumi even tucked me in, and, like coaxing a child, kissed my forehead. Sleep well, I rolled my eyes. Sleep well? I still have to wake up to watch over the babies at night. I don't know who sleeps like a little pig every night lately. HMPH, I will definitely wake up tonight. I used to do this when you weren't there, husband. You are the little piggy husband. Piggy Yumi. After saying this, I held Yumi in my arms. Thank you, Mrs. Wife. Thank you for your delicate care. Hate you. Although she said that, the upward curve of her mouth was harder to suppress than an AK, and she felt sweet inside. After the New Year's holiday, Kyokan-Soo bid farewell to Yumi with reluctance. Now she has to plan her future life path well. Yumi returned to school to start classes, and I also had to prepare to go back to school for exams. After all, it was already January, and the exams for each subject had begun, one after another. It was just lunchtime, and thinking that I hadn't eaten, I smiled and walked towards Yumi's office. I arrived at Yumi's office, knocked on the door, and then opened it. Yumi, who had just taken out the thermal food container, looked up and saw me. The frost on her face quickly melted, turning into a breathtaking smile. Husband, you're here! I came to see you. Besides, I have an exam this afternoon. I walked over to Yumi and moved a chair to sit next to her. Wife, I haven't eaten lunch. Let me have a bite too. Yumi opened the container, took out the lunch I had prepared for her in the morning, and then set the bowls and chopsticks in front of me. Husband, you eat first. I'm kidding. I'll just have a couple of bites. After all, this is made according to your appetite, and I don't want my beloved wife to go hungry. Won't you be hungry? Yumi didn't eat alone, but fed me from time to time. Ouch! I thought if I went out to eat, I wouldn't be nauseated by your loving lunch, but I didn't expect that after coming back, I would see an even more heartbreaking scene. Yang Tama's voice sounded. Yumi's face was slightly red, but she still fed me. She couldn't let her husband go hungry. What others think is their business. Yuan Tomo followed Yang Tama inside, saw me, and immediately gave a thumbs up.